From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Jason White. Growing wildfires on Quebec's North Shore have now forced the evacuation of a prison. Correctional Services Canada says it has relocated inmates from the maximum security prison in Port Cartier. Parts of the town were evacuated Friday, when about 1,000 residents were ordered to leave their homes. Quebec forest fire officials say favorable winds have slowed progress of the fires, but several remain out of control near Port Cartier. Another wildfire that's forced people from their homes in central Labrador grew, but only slightly overnight. The province's forest fire duty officer says firefighters continue attacking the blaze near Churchill Falls and notes the fire remains stable after it gained about 15 square kilometers overnight. Some 500 residents were ordered to leave Churchill Falls Wednesday because of the out-of-control fire. It has been 31 years since a Canadian NHL team won the Stanley Cup, but that could all change tomorrow as the Edmonton Oilers travel to Florida to play the Panthers in a winner-take-all Game 7. What would make a win all the more historic, Edmonton has battled back after Florida took a commanding 3-0 lead earlier in the series. Canadian Press national hockey writer Josh Clipperton describes this as a historic moment.
Coming back from 3-0 down in an NHL series is very difficult to do. Only 10 teams have ever forced a Game 7 after being down 3-0. Only 4 have actually won it, and only 1 has won it in the Stanley Cup final, the 1942 Toronto Maple Leafs. So we were in the middle of World War II, 82 years ago, the last time a team did this.
This will also be the first Game 7 in a Stanley Cup final since the St. Louis Blues beat the Boston Bruins in 2019. U.S. President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump are set to face off this week in the first presidential debate of the election. Pollster communications advisor Frank Luntz tells ABC News he's nervous about the outcome.
If we have another reaction like that first 2020 debate, where the two candidates just go at each other, at some point our system breaks. Our democracy comes undone.
The debate comes before either of the front-running candidates receives his party's formal nomination. At the movies, Inside Out 2 is setting a box office record.
What was your name again? Oh, I'm sorry. I can get ahead of myself. I'm anxiety.
Inside Out 2 earned another $100 million domestically in its second weekend, according to studio estimates. That makes it the best second weekend for an animated film ever, beating out $92 million set by the Super Mario Brothers movie in its second weekend. Only 6 movies have had better second weekends. This week's number 2 movie is Bad Boys Ride or Die. The Bike Riders, starring Jodie Comer and Austin Butler, debuts in third. The Garfield movie is number 4, with Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes at number 5. I'm Margie Zaraletta.
This is the Canadian Press. In sports, the Blue Jays lost their series in Cleveland this afternoon as the Guardians edged the Jays 6-5. In CFL action tonight, the Rough Riders will host the winless Hamilton Tiger Cats in Saskatchewan's home opener. Cameron Young has shot the 13th round of 59 or lower on the PGA Tour in the Travelers Championship. He says he stayed focused on his play.
I did a little bit, kind of like 10, 11, 12. Not necessarily sub 60, but just like really good. And then didn't really think much about it until the putt went in on 15.
Young had the first sub-60 round since Scotty Scheffler at the TPC Boston in 2020. Today at the Travelers, Adam Svensson of Surrey, BC is the top Canadian at 14 under and tied for 16th. And 6 people protesting climate change stormed the 18th green at the Travelers Championship, spraying paint and delaying the finish for about 5 minutes. From the Canadian Press, I'm Jason White.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.